Hello and welcome back to Learning 10. I'm Declan Doyle, founder of the Pro Coaching Group, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the key components that underpin a healthy eating approach. Just before we start, as per usual, feel free to subscribe, and if you ask questions I will look to provide answers in the comment section, okay? Okay, so what we're going to focus on today, what you're going to learn in under 10 minutes is we're going to discuss key components of healthy eating. We're going to understand why each component matters, and hopefully you will leave here with a clearer understanding going forward. So a question that's often asked is, what does a healthy eating approach look like then? So there's some key considerations that people should be aware of before they change anything in relation to their eating habits. Okay, so first and foremost, you want to control your energy balance. So it's very important that that's accounted for. You want something that provides nutrient density. You want something that supports your goals. You want to adopt something that's contextual, and you want to adopt something that's sustainable. So let's go through each individual point here. Okay, so first and foremost, if your eating approach isn't controlling your energy balance, so it isn't allow you staying where your energy needs need to be to either lose weight, maintain the weight, or gain weight, depending on your goal, then that's not a healthy approach, right? So if the way you're eating is pushing you from one extreme or the other, where you're binge eating, you're yo-yo dieting, you're just going from one extreme to the other all the time, then obviously that's not a healthy approach. So ultimately, you should be have an approach that allows you stay where your energy balance needs to be. Okay, so that's number one. Next, it should provide enough nutrient density there. So if you look at that picture on the left, that would be an example of types of foods that's got high nutrient density, so lots of vitamins and minerals involved there. Whereas that picture on the right, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to see that that is a picture of types of food that has high calorie density but not so much high nutrient density there. Now, nutrient density is very important for optimal health, so massively important for a range of health profiles. So if you don't have enough nutrient density on board, that is not going to be healthy. You need enough foods in your diet that support that. Next, it should ultimately support your goals. Okay, so it should ultimately move you closer towards your goals. Whether your goals are to improve your performance in the gym, physique type goals, or you want to lose some fat percentage, or just improve a range of health profiles, so blood pressure, lower your resting heart rate, stuff like that. It should ultimately be moving you towards that place. So if you have an approach that's not moving you towards an improvement, then obviously that's not healthy, right? You're not going to achieve the goals you want. So ultimately, that should be something that's working towards that. Okay. Next, something that's often not accounted for is that it should be contextual, meaning that whatever approach you are participating in, it should have taken in the context of your lifestyle. So that means your work context, your family context, and your social context. All of that needs to be accounted for. So I'm going to give you an example of this. If someone just downloads a diet plan off the internet, which has a list of foods that says you should only eat these types of foods and you should avoid these types of foods, and that person, let's say, is a shift worker, let's say they're a nurse, and they obviously work in a hospital, and because of their shift pattern in the hospital, that they can't get access to these foods that are on the diet plan, then obviously that's not contextual, because it's not accounting for the way that person's life is set up. So ultimately, it should be contextual. It should take in your preferences, shift patterns. It should take in your lifestyle, your family commitments, your work life, basically, and it should be contextualized in order to in order so that you can fit that way of eating into your life, that it becomes contextual. Now, if that's not accounted for, that can absolutely impact, and that's why often people fall victim to falling off diet plans and so on, because they haven't accounted for this in advance. Okay. Last but not least, it should be sustainable. Now, this is probably the most important variable of the lot here, because ultimately, whatever approach you adopt, you need to be able to stick to it, or else it just becomes a waste of time and energy and potential investment. So if you can't see yourself sustaining it, then why start it in the first place? Because if you don't see yourself being consistent, you're going to have to change again, and then you're going to have to learn a new method, if you like, or a new way of eating, or try to change a few things in your lifestyle again to make it work. So you don't want to keep going on this roundabout of you're on it, you're off it, you're on it, you're off it. You want to ultimately set up an approach that you can stick to long term. So that is some key considerations of what a healthy nutrition approach should look like. Now, there's probably more out there, absolutely, but these are certainly ones that will fall under the important brackets when it comes to healthy eating. Okay? Cheers, guys. This was episode 3 of Learning 10. If you'd like me to cover any other topics, by all means, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them. Or if you've any questions about your own preferences, any questions related to nutrition, health and well-being, pop them in the comments and I'll look to answer them. And I'll be back soon with another Learning 10 video.